Coming into the day, this is already what we knew. In the first days of Trump's presidency, he invited then FBI Director James Comey to the White House for a one-on-one dinner, and then demanded that Comey, who is supposed to be politically independent, give him a pledge of loyalty. Then, later, in a private Oval Office meeting, he asked Comey to drop the Michael Flynn Russia investigation. And then when Comey didn't drop it, Trump fired him. Now, can we just pause for a second and acknowledge how bad crazy all of this is, right? No, just think about it. It's normal for us, but if you just woke up from a coma and heard all of this at one time, you would be screaming down the street with your ass out in one of those gowns like, how is he still president? How is he still president? And so, with all of that, today the stage was set for possibly one of the most serious hours in recent American history. The Senate testimony of James Comey. Wow, that did not match the feeling of the day at all. Today, James Comey took his place in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee to give his testimony on the Trump-Flynn-Russia saga. And since he's 11 feet tall, it took place in a room the size of Nebraska, where everyone was gathered to hear the former FBI director say whether he was, like, mad at the president or...
Happening now, breaking news, lies and defamation. Searing testimony by fired FBI Director James Comey, repeatedly accusing the president and his administration of lying and defaming him and the FBI.
The administration then chose to defame me and, more importantly, the FBI by saying that the organization was in disarray, that it was poorly led, that the workforce had lost confidence in its leader. Those were lies, plain and simple.
Whoa, 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 James Comey calling the president a liar? How dare you tell us things we already know? We didn't day drink for this. We want new information. So, today, Comey gave some really impressive testimony with details on every meeting, every phone call he had with Trump, who, what, where, what facial expressions they had when they spoke, what they smelled like, everything. And the reason Comey was able to go into such meticulous detail is that immediately after every single interaction he had with Trump, he wrote memos. Yeah, which James Comey should be awarded for. He's the only person who wanted to remember his meetings with Trump. The only question is, why?
Now, you've had extensive experience at the Department of Justice and at the FBI. You've worked under presidents of both parties. What was it about that meeting that led you to determine that you needed to start putting down a written record?
A combination of things. I think the circumstances, the subject matter, and the person I was interacting with. I was honestly concerned that he might lie about the nature of our meeting, and so I thought it really important to document.
I gotta say, this is the first time I've ever felt bad for Ted Cruz. Yeah, because you know that he was watching this thinking, wait, you guys just now figured out that Trump was a liar. He said my dad killed JFK. He said my daddy. At least that's what I imagine happened, because no one was actually willing to watch the Comey hearing with Ted Cruz, so I don't know if that's how he reacted. But you know, after today, I gained a new level of respect for James Comey. Because throughout the time he served under President Trump, it was only today that we got the sense of how freaked out he actually was.
I remember thinking this is a very disturbing development, and what made me uneasy was I'm, at that point, the director of the FBI. That gave me a queasy feeling that he couldn't possibly be having dinner with me alone. I have a recollection of him just kind of looking at me, and there's a danger here I'm projecting onto him, so this may be a faulty memory, but I kind of got, his body language gave me the sense like, what am I going to do?
You see, this is why white people always die in horror movies. I was getting a bad feeling about this, and then I stayed to investigate further. I stayed to try and figure it out. If you had a black FBI director, after the first meeting with Trump, he'd have been like, oh, hell no. This some obstruction, yo. This some obstruction. Hey, yo, Ivanka. Ivanka, give me the keys. Hey, yo, Ivanka, give me the keys, Ivanka. Give me the keys. Sorry, babe. Now, from the very start of today's hearing, From the very start of today's hearing, it was clear that Republicans and Democrats wanted completely different things from Comey's testimony, right? For the Democrats, it was, James Comey, please do what you did to Hillary and knock Trump out of the presidency. And he did not give them that.
Do you believe this will rise to the obstruction of justice?
I don't know. That's Bob Mueller's job to sort that out.
Come on, Comey! Wouldn't come here to appropriately see you differentiate your investigative role from the legally separate role of prosecutorial judgment. We came for this, Comey.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought it was you walking through the door.
You're out of order! You're out of order! Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell!
That's what we wanted, Comey! We wanted madness, fireworks! Or at least that's what the Democrats wanted. Because, I mean, the Republicans had a different goal. You see, they know that what Trump did with Comey was highly irregular. In fact, Paul Ryan even said Trump made a mistake because he's still learning government. I mean, you're the dumbasses who elected him. So, Republicans weren't trying to say that Trump didn't make a mistake. They were saying that mistake was not obstruction of justice. According to Republicans, Trump did not tell Comey to stop the investigations. It was just something he hoped would happen.
Regarding allegations that the President of the United States obstructed justice. And boy, you nailed this down on page 5, paragraph 3. It says, quote, I hope, this is the President speaking, I hope you can see your way clear to letting this go, to letting Flynn go. He is a good guy. I hope you can let this go. He did not direct you to let it go.
Not in his words, no.
He did not order you to let it go.
Again, those words are not an order.
No. He said, I hope. You don't know of anyone that's ever been charged for hoping something. Is that a fair statement?
I hope this motherfucker didn't try just put a fast one on us. I hope. No, because, no, I'm sorry. We are adults here. Senator Risch is making it sound like Trump was innocently hoping. Yes, like language doesn't have subtext. He makes it sound like Trump was a Disney character standing out on a balcony singing, I hope Mike Flynn will be free someday. I hope he'll get away. That's not what happened. Trump ordered, this is what happened. Trump ordered everyone to leave the room. Everyone was in the Oval Office. Trump ordered everyone to leave the room. Kushner, Mike Pence, even Jeff Sessions, who is Comey's boss, by the way. He kicked them all out of the room. Then turned to Comey when they were alone, looked him in the eye and said, I hope Mike... Come on, man. That's not hope. So Republicans basically wanted Comey to exonerate Trump, and he didn't. Democrats wanted Comey to personally impeach and convict and jail Trump. He didn't do that either. Or at least we think he didn't. Because clearly the senators kept all the juicy details for themselves.
We will reconvene in closed session at 1 p.m. today.
We'll be having a closed session shortly, so we will follow up on that.
I don't think I can talk about that in an open setting either.
We can discuss these more in the closed setting then.
Not a question I can answer in an open setting, Mr. Chairman.
Do you believe Donald Trump colluded with Russia?
It's a question I don't think I should answer in an open setting.
Then what the hell are we watching the open session for? Why are we watching? Like, you know, with all of these closed session answers, it felt like after this hearing we walked away with more questions than we had coming in. For instance, what involvement did other Trump administration have with Russia? Closed session. Why did Jeff Sessions have to recuse himself from the Russia investigation? Closed session. Is President Trump now under investigation? Closed session. I mean, today's hearing was cool and everything, but basically, it was like listening to a clean version of a hip-hop song, you know? Yeah, it felt like we missed all the explicit parts. And with you trying to dig it in the streets with my, and I got that with the bad, and the truth of them, with the, going down with the, what you know about the, and you see with the big boat, what you don't know with the, kind of coming with it, you never see the, and now they're always going with the, and that's the truth, and the man said, Full lyrics available in the closed session. Congratulations! You've been randomly selected as a winner of free Daily Show episodes. Yes, you. To claim your prize, just watch full episodes of The Daily Show for free anytime with the Comedy Central app or at thedailyshow.com. What a winner you are! So much winning.